Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Caitie.
I'm Jenny.
For a second, I was like, Jenny, you do know you're next, right? But there was like this weird pause. So I was just like, wait,
That's just you. But look, my cup lights up. I can't do it. Go!
I was like,
there we go. There we go.
I don't know what that song was either, but here we go.
I like that.
That'd be a really good cup walking down the middle of Main Street, USA at night. Like, I think that'd be super cool. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Geeks Corner. It's going to be a fun night that's full of a little bit merry and bright. Is that right? It's weird to be doing Christmas when we don't have the set decorated. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I feel like something's missing, even though Jenny does have the Christmas tree that is quite often, what has it been, like 4 years, 5 years it's been on the set?
Like 5, I think. I think this will be 5.
Okay. This year will be 5. But it's a fixture at Christmas time now on the Geeks Corner set, I feel like. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
And the way it usually works is after whatever that last Tuesday night is before Advent starts for Christmas, we all stay late and we watch movies or whatever it is we end up watching. Sometimes it's been Star Trek. Sometimes it's been Christmas movies as we decorate the set until whenever it gets done. And it's usually just the 3 of us. It's been 3 of us for several years now, I think. And it's always a blast. But before we get into Christmas, let's get into some other stuff first. And this morning was a very eye-opening morning, I'm going to say, because you just realize how very big the Walt Disney Company has become when you find out that they earned 145 primetime Emmys this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And
nominations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say Emmys.
I was trying to read and it wasn't working. But Emmy nominations, and 19 of which were for Disney Plus. And I think that was the biggest segment for Disney where they received Emmys nominations. And then out of that, 15 of those were for The Mandalorian, which is what I really want to talk about. But it was interesting going through the list, and I actually posted it on DAPs, of all of the different, before we get to The Mandalorian, all of the different shows that received Emmy nominations. And you've got like The Simpsons, and you've got The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and you've got The Imagineering Story, and you've got, what is it? Handmaid's Tale, and Handmaid's Tale. And like all of these shows, half of which I've never even heard of. The Oscars, which I have heard of. But
I was like, you've never heard of the Oscars?
Yeah, it's this show that tries to be
this
like
new thing,
right?
Exactly.
Right. Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. But anyway, it really was eye-opening to see how many different properties and shows the Walt Disney Company has in that 145 nominations that they received this morning. But let's go right into The Mandalorian. What did you think about 15 nods to The Mandalorian in, what is it, 8 months in for Disney Plus?
I think that they are all very well deserved. I'm looking at the list right now as we're talking. I think that Giancarlo Esposito is fantastic. I think Taika Waititi is fantastic. The editing, the cinematography, the music, everything I'm seeing on the list of nominations is something they're incredibly deserving of. Because sometimes you see nominations for things and you're like, were they just trying to fill a spot? Like, I mean, sure, but I think Mandalorian is one of the best pieces of Star Wars canon, period. Like, I really enjoyed The Mandalorian. And I'm excited that it's getting really good recognition, especially that there are individual actors from it getting recognition.
Totally. Jenny, what did you think?
I think it's not surprising because it's very, very popular and very like, woo! So it's very new and shiny. And like a lot of times the Emmys like new and shiny. And people have been very excited about it for a very long time. So I do not find this surprising.
Do you think it's deserved? Or is it just new and shiny? Because I was actually thinking as I looked at it, I'm going to say I think it's deserved.
Okay. I haven't watched it, so I can't.
Okay, so you need to watch it. That's your homework, because you love to watch Disney Plus, and you went through all the movies. So this is the show you need to start with for going through the shows. Mainly because I actually do think they did a really nice job with storytelling on so many different levels. And a lot of it is what Disney does really well with, and it's not just the dialogue, it's the actual storyline moving forward that's all acting, and I think that's fantastic. And I'm curious to hear what you think about it, because I think in general most of it's really good, and I'm going through my second time watching it now, and there are a few moments where I'm kind of like, that was an interesting choice. Like the one where, well, I shouldn't say this because Jenny hasn't seen it yet, but there's an episode that basically, yeah, right. But
are you talking about the jailbreak episode?
Yes, jailbreak episode is one of my favorite episodes. But at the same time, when I went back and watched it, it was missing something.
It's not my favorite. It is my least favorite episode.
Oh, your least favorite?
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
But it has.
But can we talk about we talk about the real travesty of like these nominations? Is that High School Musical, the musical, the series, was not nominated for anything? I'm upset.
Thank you.
You're not the first two people that have said that today.
I really
deserved it.
Really enjoyed the Alphabet Show. They put the whole alphabet in it when you condense it.
It is. I mean, I think if something like Glee could be nominated.
Yes.
For all those years, like.
And I think that High School Musical, the series, is what the first season of Glee was. Because the first season of Glee didn't take itself seriously. It was very like making fun of after school specials type of thing. Like it was like, oh no, kids, these are bad. Like don't like it was very much making fun of those tropes. And then it started taking itself too seriously in the later seasons. But I feel like High School Musical, the series actually like does that.
So here's
and
my
I don't
question.
think it will get carried away because it's Disney.
Do you think the reason it didn't get nominated is because they've already had a bunch of movies? And so there's already kind of that like, been there, done that from whoever nominates?
No.
Okay. So why do you think it wasn't nominated?
I don't know. I'm guessing that it was like kid show.
Okay.
It's possible.
Because High School Musical, the series, I love saying the entire name every time I bring it up.
I do every single time. Every single time.
I love it. Like they named it that way for a reason, so I'm gonna say it. But I think that it's an entirely different concept from the High School Musical trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that there was a stigma around the High School Musical trilogy where it's like, oh, those are those kids' movies. I also like there's a conspiracy theory that they just didn't want to say the name. Can you imagine though, like reading off nominations?
I'm tired just reading the name. I'm not going to watch it.
Like, it makes me laugh just to think about. But there was also, like, I'm thinking specifically, there was a lot of really good original songs from High School Musical, the series. And there was a lot of, because there was an original song for every episode. And there was some that 100% should have been nominated for Best Original Song. So
that's really interesting. Do you suppose that people just didn't watch it because they thought it was a kid show and so it didn't get nominated?
I think that that's why it didn't get as much attention as it should have.
Okay.
Because I think the show in general, to speak as the kids, was slept on. Because I think that people were like, it's High School Musical. Like, we've been there, done that. But once I even didn't watch it for a couple weeks, but I had people coming to me week after week being like, you need to watch this show.
I remember hearing that. So here's my next question. Do you think Disney pushed Mandalorian more than this show?
Yes.
And that's really what it is they want the credibility for Star Wars?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it is I'm thinking more about it.
There's a gravitas of Star Wars that's Star Wars.
And it's Star Wars. Yeah, it's Star Wars, and they need this one to work. And to me, it's going to be interesting as we go. And you've got homework, Jenny. You got to watch this because I want to talk about season 2 when it comes out in October. And
October.
To me, The Mandalorian is one of those weird shows where it was good right out the gate. And to me, that means season 2 is that much harder. Whereas a lot of, you think TV shows, it's like, oh, it took a while to get their footing. And then towards the end of season 1, they start figuring it out. And season 2 is where it starts getting interesting. Well, if you're interesting from day 1, then when season 2 comes along, you have to keep this bar up here. And there's always that risk of like too much hype and not enough depth. and with things that we've heard about season 2, I think that's a real concern, and that could be a risk. But we'll see. What do you think, Caitie? Is that a risk?
Yeah, I agree. I also was thinking about how good Mandalorian was. And every time I think about The Mandalorian, I think about the fact that the day that Disney Plus launched, I had to go to work at 3 a.m. And if anyone knows me, I have like 18 alarms that go off, and I 100% walk out the door at the last minute because I'm not a morning person. I woke up at like 1:30 so that I could watch The Mandalorian. And I remember laying in bed and the reveal comes at the end of episode 1, and I went, oh! And then I proceeded to talk to everybody about it that day. Being like, have you watched Mando? Have you watched Mando? Have you watched UK? You need to watch it. I can't talk to you. But I'm very wary about new things. I don't really like new things. I don't like change. So the fact that a show was that good from the get-go, I feel like we're going to immediately be comparing it to season 1.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the real challenge for them.
Yeah. But they also have an incredibly talented crew.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think that's good too.
And I think that with Dave Filoni, like...
Well, and his track record with Clone Wars and Rebels is very good.
Exactly.
So, but, I mean, Clone Wars was a rough start too, and Rebels was a rough start. I remember when we used to do DAPs Cast, our old podcast, talking with the crew for that, and I think it was Danny that said, Star Wars Rebels Season 1 is the show that I have the biggest love-hate relationship with, because I absolutely love it, and then they do this thing that makes me hate it for a whole episode. And it turned out there were some payoffs later on, but looking back, I was still like, why did you paint a TIE fighter like hippie colors, basically? Because they painted, I don't even know what to call it. It reminds me of the Muppet bus.
Because
that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. But it made zero sense in season 1, and it was a distraction, and it didn't move the story forward, and it was just kind of this like, you just wanted to show that she likes to paint. Like it didn't add anything really to the show. But that added to her story.
I know.
Like at the end of the day, it was kind of a tag on, and I think they ended up redeeming it a little bit later on, but it was never a necessary part of the story, really. Anyway, Jenny needs to watch The Mandalorian so we can talk more about it and not get in trouble.
I mean, you could talk about it. I wouldn't care.
I know, but it's more fun to talk with you and then around you. So let's move on to something that Jenny can talk about, and that is Christmas. Jenny can do an entire show on Christmas.
Actually, Geeks Corner is now going to be a Christmas show. I hope everybody realizes this. It took like a month and a half of me appearing on the show to get a Christmas episode. So I think we've crossed over.
The funny part is when you were texting me about it and we were coming up with this, the moment you said it, I was like, well, duh, I should have seen this coming from 10 miles away the moment I started posting Christmas in July articles. And I literally, the way the process works currently is usually on Sunday, I start looking at the articles on DAPs Magic to be like, what could we possibly be talking about this week? And then generally by Monday afternoon, I usually know Jenny's going to be texting me. So I have at least like 2 topics that I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this. Nothing yesterday. I was looking at the site and like, well, they have new masks. I'm not really interested in talking about the masks, which for the record, you can't have valves or holes or mesh. There's the masks rules updates for Disneyland and Walt Disney World. And Jenny's like, well, what about Christmas? And then The Mandalorian got the Emmy nominations this morning. So that is how we put today's show together. But so Christmas in July, Disney sent us this wonderful email saying, hey, we're going to celebrate Christmas in July this year, which I think they do every year, but we don't usually get alerted to it ahead of time through a nice little email. So thank you, Jody. But so we get this wonderful little email and I'm like, okay, I wonder what they're going to do. And they give us all these ideas for activities we could do, which when I look back at them, we have done a lot of those activities through the years. Mm-hmm. Like, they're all things that we would do anyway, maybe at Christmas, not in July. But let's start with that, is they gave us all of these activities that you could do to celebrate Christmas in July. Which one of all of them did you like the best? And Jenny, you get to go first.
Ooh. I mean, clearly there was a part about cookies, yes. I'm remembering.
Yes.
Gingerbread
So clearly, as me being the cookie queen, I always recommend making cookies all the time. All
Caitie,
the time. And gingerbread is my favorite. So.
Okay. And Caitie, which one did you like? Their idea the best?
Well, I enjoyed the decorating. There was a Mickey pom-pom wreath that I was very much enjoying. But looking at it, most of it just makes me feel like too hot. Like it's like wear Christmas pajamas, and I'm like, all my Christmas pajamas are like onesies.
Flannel.
And then it's like watch movies and put on a fake fire. I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cozy, but it's 100 degrees outside.
I was surprised they didn't include the Arendelle Yule log.
They did.
No, they had
they said the castle
Disney Parks blog one, which is a YouTube video, but the Arendelle Yule log was not included. And I think I added it as an extra idea in my post. But the official Disney one didn't include that. And I was like, how did they not include Frozen when they could have?
I just remember last year when we had the Frozen Yule log on repeat on the set. That was pretty funny. Anyway, that was
magic.
Yes.
I would have to go with Bailey, and it's all about Muppet's Christmas Carol and gingerbread cookies. I think those, and then eggnog. Like put the three together, and I'm a happy camper. And yeah, that's the one I would pick. Go ahead, Caitie.
But I think we are missing the important question, which is when are we going to watch Muppet's Christmas Carol? Are we going to wait until Christmas? Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Like for real, for real?
Sure.
Okay.
And maybe we can do that, and then we could also read the book. Like we could do the book reading, because remember we got on animated, or not animated, but that beautifully illustrated Muppet's Christmas Carol book last year. Animated book would be cool too. Very Star Trek.
I just imagined you in a rocking chair and me and Jenny being like, Papa, will you read us the story of the Muppet Christmas Carol? And you being like, gather around, children.
And it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen.
I feel like this needs to happen. We could do it.
Comment that you would like to see happen, and we'll video it.
The Arendelle Yule log in the background.
And the studio Christmas tree.
As you're in a rocking chair and Jenny and I go, Papa.
We'll have our teddy bears and like
we will be in our Christmas jammies.
Our Christmas jammies. Yeah,
and we'll have Christmas cookies.
Cookies and cocoa and
perfect. Yeah. And I can have an eggnog latte. It'll be great. So
how will I make the eggnog latte if I'm there?
You make it and then show up.
Because here's a fun fact.
Yes, and you are right, Mike. Hold on just a second. We did do a radio rendition of Christmas Carol. What we have is a Muppet version. So it's Muppet's Christmas Carol that is got the Muppets in them. And so this is an updated version. And when we got it last year. So this will be slightly different. And probably go longer. Maybe. Anyway.
It's going to get real scary, y'all.
Caitie was going to say something, but now she's laughing.
We've lost Caitie.
I was going to say...
Did I break Caitie?
Yeah, a little bit.
We can promise that if we're not virtual for Christmas, our show won't be too short. Because we've learned that lesson. We will not do it again, and we apologize.
Dad, you can't say that!
What? What can I say? I was just being...
Anyway.
I was being sincere, like Linus in the pumpkin patch. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say?
All I was going to say was that I'm the only one that's approved to make your eggnog latte. It was very inconsequential and didn't need to be built up this big. But that is a fun fact for you. If you ever go to Starbucks and you think, I'm going to get Mr. Dapp's eggnog latte, and I'm not there, don't do it.
I don't actually get what's on the menu.
He doesn't. I make it very special.
I don't get it anywhere else. Anyway, very quickly, since we're talking about Muppet's Christmas Carol and all of those things, what is your favorite Christmas film? I know I ask this question just about every Christmas, but I feel like the answer has changed.
Never. Mine never changes.
Okay.
No. My favorite Christmas film is It's a Wonderful Life.
Excellent choice. Caitie?
It's not Christmas until I watch it.
I actually agree with you. I like watching it on Christmas Eve also. Like I work every Christmas Eve, and after work, I love to go and watch It's a Wonderful Life as I'm winding down. Caitie?
I haven't seen a lot of classic Christmas films.
That's okay.
So I always just say Elf. Because it is very silly, and I know it's very easy to think of Elf as like a silly Will Ferrell movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make me feel warm fuzzies for Christmas because it is kind of cheesy.
I would say it's in that classic realm now.
I just feel like it's because it's like new school classic.
Okay.
You know, like it's like in the mid 2000s, so it's not like It's a Wonderful Life, or I've never seen Miracle on 34th Street.
That's a good one too.
I've also never seen what is it called? A Christmas Story?
Christmas Story, yeah.
I've never seen it. I've heard very mixed things, so I don't know that I do want to watch it.
You should watch it like once.
You need to watch it once.
You should watch it once.
But yeah, I've just never seen a ton of Christmas films, but Elf is kind of a staple.
Okay. Very good. And I'd probably go with It's a Wonderful Life also, because that is the one movie I will make sure and watch every year. And I'd actually say the short version of The Grinch, the original version, I enjoy a lot as well.
Cartoon Grinch.
And then also, I wouldn't say these are my top tier, but it's like right up there next there is the Charlie Brown Christmas special is right there with The Grinch as well. But
I love Rudolph. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, Rudolph is really good too.
Rudolph makes me happy.
Ooh, I have seen
Frosty.
Rudolph.
Frosty is funny just because of Professor Hinkle.
Yes.
Like, I love seeing Professor Hinkle when he tries to jump off the train and then he ends up falling down the hill, and like all of the magic cards and all that stuff falls out of his pockets, and they've got the really funny sound effects, and then he hits the tree at the bottom, the snow falls on his head. Fantastic. That's quality.
And then also Home Alone. Because
and fantastic soundtrack. That one's beautiful.
That's my favorite.
That is a really good one.
It's a really good John Williams soundtrack.
Yeah, one of his best.
I am also seeing Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
That was okay.
Also good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
I wouldn't put it in the Charlie Brown Christmas special level, but it's up there.
I don't know that I've seen Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
Have you seen and Mickey's Christmas Carol? I mean, I like that one.
A little bit higher. Yeah.
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I
have seen Polar Express.
Yeah, we're getting lots of Polar Express people in the comments.
I'm so happy you all like Christmas. Because it's all Christmas from now on.
Christmas Carol there.
Only Christmas shows.
Keep telling us your favorite Christmas. Tell us your favorite Christmas songs too in the comments. But we're going to take a moment to do something technologically. One of the other things that Disney did this weekend, or whatever day it was it Saturday? Yeah, that was the 25th. Was they revealed some of their Christmas merchandise, and so we think that maybe we can show it. Oh, we can. This is good.
Oh, we can.
So I actually am only showing this because Jenny loves gingerbread, right?
I do.
And the theme this year is gingerbread.
It's like they finally listened.
Yes, and so they've got the clothing, they've got the kitchen stuff. I actually really liked this retro stuff. I thought that was super cool.
Really cute.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, it kind of reminded me of my grandparents. They got the Princess collection. They've got the anniversary collection, whatever they're called. I can't read it. Yeah,
I love that Aristocats ornament.
I know, it's really cute.
This might be the coolest thing, though, is the Advent calendar, the Star Wars Advent calendar with Darth Vader wearing a Christmas sweater.
Advent calendar.
Amazing.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Like if we had, I almost feel like we should be.
I feel like we need that.
So here's my crazy idea: is we commit to doing a very brief live stream every day of Christmas. And all it is we open this up, look at what it is, and be like, hey, look at this. And then we close it, or we do whatever we do with it, and we move on.
Well, it depends on how much it is. Is this like $300, like many Lego sets?
I don't know. I didn't actually look. I kind of was like, this is a bad idea. Don't look at it. And then there's this book that looks beautiful, and I think they said it has 19,000 images of Disney parks at Christmas. So this is very much a Jenny book,
Right.
and that's what they showed us that's coming out, and there's gonna be more coming out later in the year. And yes, I do think R2D2 is in a Santa hat.
I'm very excited about that book because anything I see that Becky Cline is involved in, I just trust immediately.
It'll be good.
When she showed up in Prop Culture, that's what that show was called. I immediately was like, "Yay!" Because I trust her completely.
Yes, I know that you have to put them together.
Yes, we did realize you have to put them together, but that's half the fun of it, right?
Mike is also worried that we're skipping Halloween.
We will do Halloween in whatever form we can.
I won't let anyone skip Halloween.
No, we love Halloween.
All right, 13's my favorite number. I'm very spooky. Okay.
We might have to go back and go ghost hunting again. We'll see.
Okay, so we're not doing that.
It'll be fun. So somebody, I bet I can get Steven to go ghost hunting with me then. Steven and Luke will go ghost hunting. That's a scary
comment. Maybe that just happened.
Maybe Tyler too.
Oh gosh.
This could be a good video. So before we run out of time completely though, what are your predictions at Disney for the holidays this year? I know it's ridiculously hard to predict anything because it seems like every day the world turns upside down yet again. But what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. I like to imagine a world where we will be back in Disney parks and we will see Garland. My current gut instinct is telling me that is not going to happen. At least on this coast. Maybe on the East Coast.
So you think they won't put up a Christmas tree?
I think that we won't be in Disney parks.
Oh, you don't think Disneyland's going to be open by then? Okay.
That's my gut instinct. And it makes me really sad to say that because I don't want that to be the truth. I really want things like I want everyone to start wearing their mask and I want everyone to be healthy and all of this to go away as much as it can within our control because we do have that control. But I just don't know. But like I said, I would love to. I don't think Snope would happen.
Which is fine. It doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. Jenny, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm like 8 million fingers crossed to be in the park for Christmas because it is my favorite.
I can picture you and Caitie being like, I want a picture here now. Because it seems like Christmas is when I always get the picture of the two of you. But keep going.
We do it for all occasions. Yeah. But it will be sad. It'll be sad without a parade. It'll be sad without like fireworks, if they're not going to do any of like the crowd inducing events. But I think if like, I picture I'm like, ooh, what if we get cavalcades that are like Christmas themed? Because like they could send the floats down or whatever with like some of the characters, just like we've been seeing. But it could be if it was the Christmas things, that would make me happy. So that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping to eat like 10,000 gingerbread cookies like I do every year, and I'm hoping to find the Haunted Mansion gingerbread again because I'm the only one who's seen it.
It's true.
That is very true. I'm not sure I believe it exists. So in the comments, Mike is guessing that the parks will be opened by September with shortened Halloween. And Mary Penguin is guessing parks will be open for November. And I think that's the nature of the game right now is nobody knows exactly when it happens. And even as Jenny was talking about how we won't have fireworks, I'm like, well, it really depends how things play out because they're currently testing fireworks in Shanghai. They're having them nightly at 9:00 as conditions and social distancing allows. And so it really will depend on how many people show up. Silver Bullet says guessing December 1st for park opening. My hunch, which is going to be wrong because every other guess has been completely wrong. Yes, the Rose Parade has been canceled, Clocky, is I'm still leaning towards sometime in September. It will reopen, but it really is going to depend on on the numbers. Like, and it's hard to tell. Like, you know, if we'd have asked a few months ago, we'd be like, oh, be open by now. But you just don't know. So that'll be weird. As for Christmas, I think Jenny's probably pretty close on this. I think there's a chance we'll get Garland. Probably no parade, no fireworks, no. I'm trying to think what else we get.
I mean, would like to imagine, because the Main Street Philharmonic has been doing marching sets. I would like to imagine that the Disneyland band gets to play their Christmas sets.
That would be fun. I agree.
But marching.
But I love that. I mean, that's very traditional and awesome. I think one of the sad things that we'll probably not get to see this year is Mickey's Happy Holidays, which will be sad. I would love to see an ongoing Christmas music, World of Color, not World of Color, like just Christmas songs with fountains, so that it's not really like a show. It's just a continued ambiance entertainment that you can walk around and you don't really stand for. And I think that would be cool. But yeah, I think we will see we'll see some of the breakout groups too, because you could put them, you know, on a platform or you could put them further away. And so I think you could see that, but I don't think we're going to see the big normal things that we're used to. And that'll be interesting. And it really would be a perfect time to bring back the Pixar Harmonic Orchestra and put them out somewhere. I don't know. But who knows? Yeah, it's going to be a complete guess. What is the one thing that you want to experience in the parks for Christmas as we wrap this up?
That we think will happen, or that
you hope will happen? So a little bit of realism, but also a little bit of hope.
I would enjoy... I realize that the snowfall can't really happen because they turn off all the lights and everyone stands in place, and it's kind of a bit of a nightmare. But I would like to see something that happens on the hour or whatever happen around Disneyland, because that's one of those like magic things that you hear the music and snowfall happens, and it's very like Christmas magic.
Do it your magic moment.
Yeah, something along those lines.
That's a good idea.
Jenny,
I like that because they could still light the trees and stuff, and you could walk around and listen to it would still play White Christmas, but it doesn't have to snowball over us.
Yeah.
Or use projectors.
I like that.
Jenny, what would you like?
Ooh, this is so hard. I just want the decorations to be up.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, like if everything is decorated and all like magical color lit for Christmas, I think that will bring an immense amount of joy when we can't have like most likely all of our regular things that we're used to doing.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, we are running out of time. So Caitie, get us out.
You should go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Find some of the really tasty gingerbread recipes from Disney. Make them. Tell us about it, maybe. And you could go click on the Geeks Corner tab on dapsmagic.com and see all of the other crazy shenanigans we have gotten into over the last almost 10 years.
Crazy. Jenny?
You can follow us on Instagram at Geeks Corner or on Twitter at The Geeks Corner because we're a little bit fancier there. And see fun little theme days. Tomorrow is Wacky Wednesday. Maybe we'll do Christmas facts, like fun Christmas things about us, because we're all in this like outfits right now. So maybe we'll do that.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We do have many more videos that are going up from the archives, and we've got some live streams on the agenda that we need to get to as well. And if you have ideas, always let us know. We'd be happy to try to do them as well. And we've got a cooking video coming up too that we've filmed that I need to finish editing, so we'll get that up as quickly as we possibly can as well. But we hope you are having a great week, staying healthy, all of that fun stuff, and wear your masks. And the sooner we all wear our masks, the sooner we get out of this, but hopefully. But that is all the time we have for you this week, so we will see you around the corner.
Bye.
Bye.